I didn't know people could be allergic to rabbits.
Yeah, here we are.
How allergic are you to your bunny?
Mildly, but when he goes through big bouts of shedding or anything, then it just gets me.
I guess you can be allergic to anything, really, I
Yeah.
suppose.
I heard a new one the other day, cold water.
Okay.
And it has like there are people who now I haven't verified this with actual facts, but just listening to an interview, there are people who carry EpiPens due to contact with cold water. There's an anaphylactic response to it.
Would the makeup of cold water be separate from the makeup of warm water?
I do not. I think it's H2O in all forms, but I think that it's something that with the nervous system's response to the
Hmm.
cold shock. But yeah, people can be allergic to cold water apparently.
Well, good thing that wasn't Wim Hof. He'd be in a lot of trouble.
I wonder what his thoughts on that would be.
Oh, Wim Hof is a very opinionated gentleman. He would definitely have some thoughts on it.
That would be an interesting debate. The debate I didn't know I needed: Wim Hof versus cold water allergies.
I don't need that debate. But I think we should dive into something to start this episode.
Okay.
Debate, maybe debate's the right word. You and I discussed this a little bit. Let's call it off mic. We said we're going to talk about it just to touch on a few things. So can I just introduce what we'll open with, and then we'll get to our episode?
Let's.
Let us. So I got a message the other day from somebody basically mentioning like we'd done the running math episodes, and 5 + 5 doesn't equal 10. We had a lot of fun with it. This is our bow tie on the running math episodes. We're done after this. We got a lot of
This will
feedback
never
from
go
this.
away.
We've gotten more messages and feedback, positive, agreeing, disagreeing, opinion. It's been interesting. But a message from somebody that said we absolutely missed the mark, that 5 + 5 does equal 10. In fact, it equals even more than 10. And their argument was that we missed the mark because we didn't talk about HGH production with working out, which is human growth hormone. I didn't necessarily agree with the take based on the context of our conversation, but we thought, hey, this is a good learning opportunity to talk about HGH and the relation to our training, and just sort of like this is like a quick like educational blip. Like, what is HGH? What's your opinion on it? And were we right by not addressing HGH in our math episode, or were we not?
Yeah, HGH is just like the super serum for regular people. In reality, it's a chemical that gets released in our body in response to stress, to generally physical stress. Workout related is the way we look at it and care about it. And generally, intense workout releases more HGH, but it's a regenerative, restorative, super building compound in our body that is directly responsible for the hypercompensation response in our bodies. So you tear it down, it rebuilds it better. It's available in synthetic form, and people dope with it a crazy amount, and it is hugely impactful. But the body naturally releases it in response to stress.
Yes. So how it is understood HGH, and then I think you should chat about when our HGH levels increase the most,
Yeah.
we'll call it. So this gentleman's argument was that like we're completely wrong because of the HGH release from training. My take on it is that low and slow aerobic work, like recovery work, things that are real low effort. Some studies has actually shown that chronic endurance, like low and slow work, actually reduces HGH production. But HGH is mostly produced from high aerobic or anaerobic activities, whether it's power generated activities like strength training or high intensity like interval work. There's an argument for moderate intensity, let's call it gray zone running, to produce HGH. But the effects on like recovery effort running in HGH would be like kind of like not worth the conversation. If
Yeah.
anything, maybe counterproductive from how I understood it. So HGH responds to anaerobic power type work much more acutely than it would to anything low and slow.
Yeah. And I believe the way we were talking about it was just running mileage. And when we
Like
talk
recovery
running
day mileage.
mileage, it's easy. It's aerobic. low end aerobic. So yeah, splitting it in half might allow you to run each of them slightly faster with the same recovery demands, but it would be still in the range of aerobic. So I think it would keep us out of that band, so to speak, of intensities that would see a notable spike in HGH production. But we were talking about it from a cardiovascular benefit and from a hitting the ground benefit. I think the argument of 5 + 5 is more than 10 only applies from a skill component. Whereas if
100%.
10 miles fatigues you too much to run well, 2 5s, you might be able to get through and run well the entire time. And so just from a skill rep standpoint, that's the only way I think I could be convinced that 5 + 5 is a full 10 or better than 10. But yeah, putting that aside, and also our whole conversation was tongue in cheek, so I hope no one gets too worked up about it. But from an
Yep.
HGH standpoint, the reason pros in any sport do multiple workouts per day, the real reason is so that you can get more in and recover from it. That's really all it's about, is getting more done
Which
and
is really what
recovering.
HGH, the primary function is, to recover and repair.
Correct.
Yeah.
But true pro athletes always pair doubles or triples with naps. And these,
Spend a weekend with Hunter McIntyre when he's in full-blown training camp. That's the schedule.
yeah, and the primary reason behind that is because HGH production in your body, it's basically released at significantly higher levels when you sleep. So as soon as you get into actual deep restful sleep, HGH, the floodgates open and it pours out. So doubling for HGH production, even if you were running fast enough to do it, would only have an actual significant impact on your body if you then napped after the double. And since we hadn't talked about that, I don't think it was that important to the conversation to us. But yes, HGH production is super important to doubling if you sleep. And I had a conversation, I shared this with you off mic, but I had a conversation with a guy who's been at the Olympic Center as athlete, coach, director for decades. And they had rules with their teams that they had to be asleep within like 30 or 60 minutes after concluding their workout. It was something dramatic like that. They had like an hour window, a half hour to get their food in, and another half hour they needed to be asleep by, because they were trying to wring every ounce out of that stress recovery adaptation cycle predicated around HGH release.
Yeah, if you wanted to take advantage of that, the approach would be go hit your, like, let's say it's a big, let's even say it's a VO2 max Tuesday morning interval session. Hit that baby hard, right?
Yep.
Go home, eat, take a nap, wake up, and then the recovery process has already started. So you can double and go hit your 6 to 8 mile PM recovery running quotes for additional volume and not set yourself back maybe quite as far. Maybe in that regard, I think you're talking, but I still don't think the mileage equals more. I just think it helps speed up your recovery, which I don't think equates to like mileage relatively.
Yeah, you would simply be dosing HGH double. You wouldn't get the same production in a nap as you would during an entire night of sleep, but I also believe that there's some science that says that it doesn't get uniformly released throughout each sleep cycle. Like up front, it's the most, and then it trails off. So naps are very effective for it, but you got to be sleeping in order to actually see notable release of HGH. We release it all day long. It just ebbs and flows throughout the day in response to activities that we're doing. But it's an IV drip, where napping is like shooting with a syringe.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like a nap, I feel better than a whole night's sleep afterwards, and I almost feel like Superman sometimes, for
Have
like
you done
once I
this?
wake up through the groggies. Huh?
Have you ever done this for a block of training, napped after every significant workout?
No, and if I have a napping window, it's definitely not immediately after a workout.
Yeah. I did it for a bit in Colorado, and I did it for a bit my final year and a half in college. And both were times when I took my training more seriously. And so I'm doing more. And so it's really hard to distinguish the result of a one variable versus other variables, but both were fantastic. Like my last year and a half of college was significantly better than the rest of my other college career. And that section in Colorado when I was napping the most correlated, maybe not caused, but correlated with some of my best fitness improvement that I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, I don't nap much these days, but my best recovery, I remember my freshman year of college, the schedule just worked out. So I had one free hour before practice at 3 or 3:30.
Yeah.
And so I would nap before practice, and it might only be 15 minutes. And I was more consistently hitting those workouts well, feeling good after like that quick little hit. So I noticed power to that. It was almost very predictable for me.
I would nap 3 times a week from like 7:15 to 8 o'clock in the morning in college. We'd have AM workouts 3 times a week. And instead of leaving afterwards, I went right to our sound booth. It was right in Catchell Fieldhouse next to the track. It's the AV control center. And I would just take a yoga mat in there, but like they had thick, cushy ones, like little gymnastics mats. And I would just lay down in there and I'd fall asleep. And I'd get up and I'd stumble to my next class 3 times a week in the morning. And it changed my days.
At that hour, I would almost call that going back to bed, but yes.
It is, but I mean, your body doesn't put a label on it like, oh, we're only going back to bed, so we're not gonna. I'd already gotten up and had a workout,
Right.
So like the HGH was released.
In the context of our very opinion-based, tongue-in-cheek conversation, I thought it was a non-factor. Honestly, it didn't even cross my mind because that's how little I believe it would make a difference on recovery doubling. I don't think it should be a consideration. Do you agree with that?
I would agree if it's for 2 caveats. If you are not working intensely ever, and if you are not napping, then I wouldn't even consider it a qualification. Now, that being said, we know the power of placebo. And if you believe you're getting better HGH production, you're going to feel probably more recovered. But I think the most important takeaway here is that for people who are doubling or people who are working really intensely, fitting a 20 to 30 minute nap in your day is akin to microdoping.
But we began this conversation talking about HGH, but this conversation is really talking about taking a nap. Let's be honest. That's the hinge point is the nap, not the HGH. Sort of for me it is.
Yes, but one begets the other.
Right.
So I would say maybe the biggest takeaway from all these messages and all our conversation is that everyone should nap more.
Tell me about it.
The harder you work, the more you should try to fit a nap in.
Pros are looking at like let's say the pros that are training 20 to 30 hours a week.
Yep.
In some capacity, they're talking like a square 9 hours of sleep a night, like pretty standard if you can. I'm not really capable these days. Maybe it's age, I'm not sure. And then there's always a nap in there if it's planned. It's train, it's eat, train, eat, nap, train, and then finish out your day.
Train, yeah.
All right. Anything else with HGH?
I think that's probably enough. It's one of those things that's fascinating to read about, and you can actually test it. You can test it by doing little blood strips and tests and see. It's like lactate. It shows up in biomarkers. So if you want to go down the rabbit hole, you can do that. And you can find out what is causing your releases and what's causing bigger releases. And you can, as people would say, you can biohack it.
Okay. Well, I'm not an expert on very many subject matters. I think we know a little about a lot of things, but I don't know if I claim to know a lot about a few things or a lot about a lot of things. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like brush up on most, but I'm not really a master of many as far as like the sciences go.
I.
Yes. And then one air clearing thing, this gentleman must have had an axe to grind with me because he didn't really agree with our HGH conversation or lack thereof. And then thought that we were kind of using this as filler, like the 4x4 by 48 talk bored him. And then mentioned that it's been bothering him that I call our listeners idiots from time to time, and that I shouldn't be denigrating the very people I'm trying to help. And just for my own sake, I have to say it. If we're talking about the most tongue-in-cheek of tongue-in-cheek expressions I use in context, it's mostly because I'm expressing my personality, and two, it's kind of to get a rise out of you. I don't think any of you are idiots. I call some of the most endearing term of endearment would be if I could call somebody, you idiot. Like I'm playfully encouraging you is what I'm doing. And so just know if you've ever felt like I've attacked you because I've called you an idiot for starting at a start line freezing when you should be warm before your race, like I'm just hoping you remember it. I don't really think you're an idiot. It's lessons to be learned. So I just wanted to clear the air there. I hope nobody thinks I'm actually calling them an idiot.
Fantastic.
And you might be an idiot, but I'm not calling you that.
You use the term idiot constantly when we interact.
Yeah, I think
usually directed towards yourself.
Oh, well, I am the biggest idiot I know.
Eh,
Yeah. All right. So, anything else from any of that?
no, I want to get to the real topic today.
Okay, you introduce it. I'll introduce it. You tell me.
All right, this is that. I mean, we've talked bridge season, we've talked off season, we've talked feeling listless. So we are going to give you the exact remedy for my listlessness. I've said it on here before, but in the past, when I've been in training doldrums, Lisa always gives me one of two pieces of advice. Do you need to go time trial, or why don't you go do a quality session today? Because she knows the cure to me feeling apathetic about training is to go rip a workout. And sometimes the progression of workouts is the thing that gets you feeling a little down in the dumps about it. And so today's episode are simply our favorite workouts to plug and play, regardless of the time of the year, that are just either fun to do, leave you feeling better about your fitness, leave your body feeling good, or just get you feeling motivated about training. These are just good, solid, quality or semi quality workouts that can be plugged in and played anytime you want. And there's no real downside to them.
You got a race in 3 weeks? Great. You could do this workout and it would still benefit you. You're not racing again until April? Great. But you don't know the direction you should take some of your quality sessions these next
Yeah.
few months. This is the stuff that we're talking about. And I've actually been living this.
Mhm.
To be honest, I haven't had a race on my calendar. In fact, I'm not racing. I'm taking an entire week off of running the first week of November when I go bury myself in the woods and take disregard all responsibility, including running. It's going to be my second break of the year. And the point I'm getting at with that is, so I have no direction really. I'm kind of filling time. And then when I return to training after that, I'm going to pick some races and I'm going to get real purposeful. But through that, even Brakken, as some of the listeners know, I have been plugging and playing and being like, this one just seems approachable and I know I'll get something out of it.
Yep.
And then I go run a pretty fast 5K within 2 or 3 weeks of just a little turnover work. And so, like, these sessions, I actually believe can be foundational fitness building, but they're also approachable. And I think they kind of keep you at homeostasis if you lack direction
Yeah.
for the time being, is how I look at it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. These are the type of workouts that you wouldn't program per se for sharpening necessarily. Like, we're not saying this suits the 3 week out purpose. We're saying this isn't going to get in the way of you 3 weeks out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to do an entire off season of this stuff, you're probably going to be fine. And if you want to use it as the base of your quality work mid season, like, you're probably going to be fine. It's not, none of it's specifically sharpening in nature. These are just things you can do whenever you want and they feel good.
Yeah. Or they don't, depending on how hard you work.
Yeah. They
I'm not
either feel good or
insinuating.
they make you feel good after.
Yeah, totally. So should we just, so what I was hoping we would do, and I think this is how you're looking at this is, like, we're just going to give you the workout and explain, like, real quickly, like,
Yep.
why we like it. And then we're just
Yep.
going to move to the next. This would be one where, like, if you had a notepad or your notes app, like, to write down a list of them to, like, pull out of a hat when
Yeah.
you're just like, I don't even know what I want to do today, or I'm feeling apathetic about what I should do. I think
Yeah.
this is sort of the episode for that.
Now, some of these we've talked about before, but I'm going to try to stay away from the classics. I'm going to do my
I'm
very
going right
best.
to the classics.
I'm going to do my very best to stay away from them, or at least give a different variation of the classic.
Okay. Do you want to start, or we'll go tit for tat?
All right, I'll start with tit then.
Smart man.
This is a workout that I almost never program for people. Unless it's like, hey, I'm gonna have a trail this weekend, or I'm gonna be here. What should I really do? And I don't know the setup of your trail. I don't know what it's gonna be, or generally it's for I don't know how much room I'm going to have. So you're going to be looping around in a known place and not trying to expand out. Like, this isn't for exploration. I do workouts where when I travel, it's an exploration type workout. This is not. This is when you've got like a couple kilometers or a couple miles to work with, and that's about it. And I'm going to have to repeat these trails over and over and over. So kind of a specific use case, but we all have a system like this somewhere near us. Like,
you're on vacation or you're at a hotel somewhere and you don't want to wander too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's just like, I don't want to be too far from the car today. Or you can do it at your local park, whatever. So I started doing this at Kishwaukee Nature Trails. And that would be Williams Bay, Wisconsin. And they have a really, really nice trail system. But if you run every single version of it, you get like 4 kilometers.
that Williams Bay, like Williams Bay off of Lake Geneva?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I've been there. I've went fishing in Williams Bay.
Well, there you go.
Continue.
So I generally do it as a progression in the off season. I'll start at 6 or 7 kilometers and I'll progress it up to 10 or 12. But it doesn't have to be a progression. You just pick a distance. You start with your cleanest, best form, easy run for 1 to 2 kilometers. And then you make every kilometer faster than the one prior. And that is the only rule, other than you must run well the entire time.
That's
Very
a beautiful
open-ended.
rule. So it's not a loop, it's a kilometer thing.
Yes, but generally it's like I'm doing the same 1 mile loop or 1K loop or whatever, or 4K loop, and just you start getting in the rhythm of what they are, and then you have to modulate your pace due to the terrain or whatever you're doing to keep clicking slightly faster. And this is the kind of thing where if you're feeling a little off that day, you move a couple seconds faster per kilometer. But generally what happens is you end up cutting down significantly throughout the run, where by the end of this, you're running threshold pace, or in my case, oftentimes a lot faster the last kilometer or two. But the general, or like the overall load of the workout is primarily aerobic. You start at an easy run, but running clean and nicely, and you just keep moving it. So over the course of 10K, I might cross aerobic threshold by like 6K. And then it's just 4K of faster than that. But usually you get ripping and then you're like, oh, I just hit 340 that one. Can I go 335? Eventually, I think I want to get to 320 by the end, but I can't get there too soon or I'm going to blow up. You just have to run well the whole time and get faster. And it's totally outside of that, up to you how much faster you get.
So a confined loop progression run, really.
Yes, but totally by feel. You never get to hold steady or get slower. You must finish faster every single kilometer.
Yeah. And then what happens if you find yourself racing or don't finish faster the kilometer?
It ends right there. You end before it ever gets bad.
Well, it starts to get bad and then it ends, I think.
If it can't go south, though.
Yeah, right. It cannot go south. Or if it does, plug is pulled immediately.
Yep. I had one session where at like from kilometer 8 to 9, I got caught in thinking about a race and I ran too fast and it clicked over. I'm like, I cannot repeat that. And I just started jogging and jogged back to the car.
Mm-hmm. So I have a session, and this isn't one I was going to talk about, and so jot it down or not. But for my folks who have still fought the good fight and don't own treadmills, but I want them to get vert, I call it the hill loop tempo progression, and it's as subjective as find yourself a 5-minute loop that includes hills, and you're going to run it very easy your first loop, and you're going to aim to cut down slightly on the time it takes to run that loop until you feel like you're racing to do so or can't stay, and then you pull the plug subjectively at whatever time that falls. And it's a version of that, but it's a way I just force people on hilly terrain who don't have access to constant climbing on the treadmill. And I love that session.
Yep.
And usually people misfire in that one because hills get tricky. They trap themselves early and the workout ends short, but you're always going to get where you need to go.
Love it. While you were talking, you saw my eyes looking away.
Mm-hmm.
I was pulling up a time where I did this progression. And I did it on October 12th, October 18th, October 25th, November 5th, December 4th.
The 1K progression?
It went like this. This is how it went. 1K easy, 10K steady, 2K easy, 10K steady, 2K easy, 10K steady, 2K easy, 10K steady. So in this one, I was in better shape. So I was doing it 2K.
1K or 10K?
1K easy, 10K steady. Now, steady meaning I'm just steadily increasing. That's how I labeled it that day. But I was getting 12K in this workout of work, 7.5 miles or so. So not a huge workout, but just clicking off kilometers. So I did this workout 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times between middle of October and the first week of December. So
tell them
5 times in 6 weeks I did this because it was just feeling good. It was one of my workouts every 9 days, essentially.
Yeah, and it tricks. So that the reason I like the progression, by the way, folks, and we're not reinventing any wheel here. Brakken isn't by bringing this up.
No.
Um, is that it often I find a progression tricks me into hard work, and the
Yeah.
end is always subjective based on how you're feeling that day. If it's a good day, that workout could draw itself out 20 more minutes, or on a day where you're like, hey, actually, I'm fatigued, then you listen to your body's signals and you
Yeah.
cut it short. But the reason, I mean, I personally like progressions is what happens in a progression systemically, whether you were to do this for a long run or like a quality day. By the way, all the sessions we're talking about are plug and play for quality days. I think
Yep.
hopefully that was clear, but is what happens in the progression, Brakken, is how much time do you spend in your sweet threshold window, the back half of that thing?
10 to 20 minutes.
At least, maybe depending
Yeah.
on how long you're going for. And so what happens is you ramp up through recovery and then gray zone, we'll call it, and then you just land in the threshold, abyss for whatever that 10 beat per minute range is, and you sit in there for quite a bit as you progress. And so you end up getting a lot of time in threshold, point being, and that's
Yeah.
why that's just a productive session.
And here's I'll give the example of that. Here's one of the workouts. It went 8:36, 8:14, 6:40, 6:20, 6:25.
These are mile splits.
These are the miles, so the K's aren't in there. 6:08, 6:24, I hit a hill, 6:07, 6:02. So by the end, I was cutting down very little, but there was also the course changes throughout. So by the end, I'm running 6:0 on grass, which for me is probably at that time right up near my lactate threshold.
You spent probably 4 miles right in the sweet spot for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the first one, I think I took a little longer. 7:46, 6:52, 6:31, 6:20, 6:25, 6:10, 6:04.
Beauty.
So just, again, not much of a cut down once I got, like, there's a shift between running my easy stride and running my faster stride. And then it just a few seconds per mile, feeling good.
Building momentum.
Yeah.
And heaven forbid you decide that I want to reach or race this last, like I'm going to keep this thing going. Heaven forbid you tip a little and you spend some time well above lactate threshold and you get a little extra spice in there. Like we're supposed to spend some time in that zone too, we'll call it. And so it's okay if it ends up that way.
I can't find it on there. This may have been pre Strava for me, honestly. But I did one session like that where suddenly at the end, I accidentally ran like 5:38 because there was a downhill. And I'm like, well, I want to see if I can run in the 5:20s this next mile. And I just ripped it. And that was the end of the run. As soon as the mile finished, I stopped. I was gasping. And then it's like, well, I ran an easy run, a tempo run, and then I ran one hard mile. And 2 days later, it's like I had just done a normal tempo run.
So we're going to call it I guess you could use miles for the progression too, but you're saying a progression with purpose, just maybe a quicker hit point with a K.
I liked it with Ks because it's that constant.
It's quicker.
Affirmation. Yeah.
Half mile might even be better if you're somebody who runs 10 plus minute miles.
Yep. And I intentionally did this on soft ground.
All right. I'll get to one of mine.
Okay.
And I love it. The athletes I work with will often see this session prescribed in what I call like a kind of like a gray week, like the week after a race. Week after a race, this one can go, if somehow you're recovered well, you can sink your teeth in. If somehow you're still fatigued, it's very approachable and you don't have to. But more than anything, it's very versatile. And it is this workout is the workout I hit the most when I have nothing on my calendar in the next month or two. I'm telling you, I just did this workout in a long run like 3 weeks ago and not reinventing the wheel again. It's the quarter mile on, quarter mile off. We're not taking standing rest, and the rest is subjective. And so is the hard. So for example, and I may do this in my long run on Saturday this week, and that's why I bring it up again, which would be like my second time in like 4 weeks. Quarter mile hard, quarter mile easy. It's as subjective as that. You want to go run 5K pace for your quarters? Great. Go run hard. And then jog 3-4 minutes a mile slower than that for your easy quarter. You want to make it a float style and just kind of like get the job done on a long run, which is what I tend to do. On the gas, off the gas. But that session, Brakken, goes quicker than any other session I think I have found in the history of, and I've done a lot of workouts at this point. That session's like for me, the perception of it. It's like, where'd that 14-mile long run go? It just keeps you often enough on the hook.
Mm-hmm.
And you can play with it based on how you're feeling. Or like if I had a race coming up that may require some turnover, press those quarters harder, back off a little more on the easy. If I'm sitting in base phase and I'm saying I want to just weave in and out of threshold or throughout threshold, on the gas, off the gas, feather on, feather off, it's beautiful. And so, yes, this is nothing I'm reinventing, but I've gone back to this one so many times through time. And I prescribe it to my athletes the week after a race often because I don't know, especially a big race, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how they're going to recover, and they can make the decision on what they do with it then too. And so
Yeah,
that's why I like it.
I like that a lot. I guess I'll give my follow-up to that then. Oftentimes my first workout that I'll give people after a race is the 1-2-3 fartlek.
It's a great option too.
But my favorite version of it is not the 1 on 1 off, 2 on 2 off, 3 on 3 off, and then repeat that. Mine is that 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, and then back down 2-2, 1-1. So it's 1-2-3, 3-2, 1, 1-2-3, 3-2, 1. And for whatever reason, just shifting that instead of 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3, going with that up, down, up, down, up, down, it just changes the workout mentally for me. It
And it
feels
goes very
way more.
quickly.
It goes quicker, and because they're atypical rounds, it cuts out the extra 3 each time is really what you're doing. 1, 2,
You're not
3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So you're taking out a 3 every other round, essentially. They share the 3 at the pyramid tip. That changes the workout as well, but during it, you don't feel like you're doing less work because you're always flowing from one interval to the next. So yes, you can modulate how hard you're working and how easy you're going on the easy, but just removing that extra 3-minute interval every other round changes the dynamic of the workout greatly. And then sometimes I end up even getting more total work in because it's the 3-minute reps that get you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you take those out and you just get more 2 and 1s to make up for it. So sometimes I end up going more than what I expected. And it's just a good feeling workout.
That brings me to the leaderboard days. You prescribed that on the leaderboard days.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I always felt good about it during that session. And the other thing you can play with that is I would either do a 1-to-1 or a half-to-1. So 3 minutes on, off, 2 minutes on, off, or you could do like 390, 2-1, 130. And those can change. That can change the dynamic of it drastically as well. Not only with how fast you can run for the hard portions, but then what you're doing with the rest portion can change too. Cause that's it's flexible is what I'm getting at. It's just a flexible session.
And if I really want to change this workout from feeling like I am getting really great work done to I need to go get some work done and not stress over it, is I move this to a trail system. And then you add turns and shifts of terrain to it, and suddenly it's as free flowing as it gets.
That's
If I
RP.
want purposeful work, I'm going to go do it on a bike path or on the track or on the road or on the treadmill. I do this on the treadmill a lot, but I just throw it on the trail for the week after a race.
It's beauty. And it's funny because I would not prescribe the quarter mile on off the week of a race leading into a race.
Yeah.
I don't prescribe it, but the 3-2-1 I have. It could go on both ends.
I do this one for long races oftentimes is my last little workout.
And you're grinding through gears that are probably faster than race pace anyways. So it's
you feel good at it.
2 rounds of it, maybe.
I would do 2 rounds of this before a lot of Spartan beast distance races back in the day.
Yeah.
Just rip a little bit. I mean, 2 rounds, you're only getting 6 minutes of actual work per round. That's 12 minutes of on, 12 minutes of off. It's a 24-minute main set, but only 12 of it's fast. It's enough to get some like sweat going, but short enough that you don't feel depleted, but you've ripped pretty well during the middle of it. So it's a great race week workout for confidence boosting of just feeling good running on a trail.
And it's a great workout in the middle of January when you're not racing for 3 months. And
do 3, 4, 5 rounds, just build up some volume flowing. I got this from, I want to say, a New Zealand track team, a pro team. They used to do this around like a 10K lake they had. They would just run the perimeter going 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And they would just do it for however 40 minutes, 60 minutes.
And by the way, you will even see some of these pro camps, like not to just like, I'm not intentionally like proposing the episode as like, hey, you're aimless, so these are the workouts you should do. like some of these pro camps, as they're just phasing into their racing season, like even like a 5K on the track, 4 weeks out, these guys may be doing a variation of the very thing you talked about, is still keeping fartlek style in there to get prepared to race. And so, yes, this is a great plug and play at any time, but it's still very purposeful work.
And this group would do this in the base building phase, and then they would do it in their transition phase, and then they'd start assigning paces to it.
Right.
So
The intensity mattered.
3 minutes was done at 10K pace, 2 minutes was done at 5K, 1 minute was done at 3K pace.
And maybe it was half marathon, 10K and 5K when they did it the off season.
Yeah, or it was
maybe
all
shorter rest.
10K.
Or maybe it was just shorter recovery, or played with that.
Yeah, and this group kept their recovery the same. They do it on the same loop and everything, but they'd start intensifying, staggering it on the 2 minute and the 1 minute. So the workout got faster and faster. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, like that. But now they're having to get faster each time the rep gets shorter. And suddenly that was a pre-competition workout for them.
Okay. I guess technically that was mine. So I guess you're supposed to go again.
Was he? It was just a response to yours. Yours was 400 on, 400 off.
Yeah, and then you said, well, I'll just piggyback. So I don't know if that counts as your try, or you want to give another one.
It does, but I can give another one. So this, you talk about leaderboard days, Kirk, this one's going to bring you back. We used to call it the bringer home. Other people call it the out and back. Other people would call it the run to the barn. But are
you talking about the Kenyan run?
Nah, this is the more purposeful one. You run out a certain amount of distance, then you get back fast.
That's what was labeled as the Kenyan run, wasn't it?
No, Kenyan was just like start easy, and then a light progression was the Kenyan. Just picking it up. It's still an aerobic run, but at the end you might end up running a little faster.
I might have burned that old Kenyan run a little too hot on the way back.
Well, you're Kirk DeWindt.
I may have been running for my life there on the way back. I may be doing the workout you're talking about.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, and the Kenyan run was just labeled that is because the Kenyan big training groups of 40, 50, 70 people, they all go out easy. They might be running 8:30 pace per mile to start the run, and there's world champions in that group. And then as they loosen up and they get chatting and they start sweating a little bit, they just let their legs do kind of what they feel like doing within the confines of an easy run. So they might start at 8:30 pace, and these are 13:40 5K guys. And by the end, they might be down at 6 minutes or 5:40, which to them is like you and I going from 9 minutes down to 7 or 6:40. Yeah. They're not working, but they get faster throughout as they warm up. Rather than just my easy pace is 7:30, I'm running 7:30. They'll start at 9 and get down to 7 and not stress over it. But this one is a little bit more intense, maybe the way you used to do it.
I did it in place of like shorter long runs sometimes. Like I do it like for a 12-mile long run. Sorry, that's short for me at the time, but like 6 out easy, 6 back in the case you're talking about.
So my most common one here is either 4 out, 4 back or 5 out, 5 back. So it's like that medium long run for me where I would do this. And you get the stimulus, a little bit of the legs feeling like you did a longer run, but you didn't take as much pounding, but you replace some of that pounding with some intensity. So I do this, again, a lot of these I do on a trail system. That's what kind of makes it feel like it can be year round for me, because it somehow feels less sharpening if I do it on a trail. That might just be mind games for me, but I have this perfect out and back trail, and it crosses one road at 5 miles and it crosses another at 4 miles. So I either make it an 8-mile run or a 10, but I get out fully aerobically. And then I turn around and I start picking it up. And I basically start cutting down or just pick a pace and run it. And I hold that until it feels like it will be racing to go any faster or hold this any longer. And then I shut it down and run in, with the goal being I make it all the way back. So it might be I run out on this trail at 8-minute pace and I try to run all the way back at 6 minute, or I go 7:37, 6:36, and then just hold all the way through. And sometimes I end up just ripping the last 2 miles and trying to like do something fancy, but it's just get out easy, get back fast.
In fact, when I prescribe this session, I still label it as a Kenyan run when I prescribed it. And I haven't prescribed this in recent times, like in the last probably year or two, but I labeled it as a Kenyan, like a Kenyan run or a Kenyan cut down. But yeah, bring her home is probably a little more appropriate, which is labeled, I believe we prescribed it on our running public training plans, and it's labeled, I believe, as bring her home, isn't it?
Yeah. On the athletes I work with, I generally call them out and backs.
Yeah.
It's just two different things. Get out easy, get back fast.
Yeah. But you don't dawdle on the way out. Like you're not shuffling.
It's easy run. Normal
It's not
aerobic
recovery.
run.
It's not recovery run. It's easy run.
Right. Just aerobic. Stay below your aerobic threshold. And then on the back, get above your aerobic threshold.
Yeah. A tempo in quotes run again.
Yeah.
Tempo and threshold are not the same. They never will be. But when you start to label the word tempo, what happens if it's an extended duration? You spend a lot of time in threshold by proxy.
It's essentially a 4 to 5 mile tempo run with an extended warm up.
Yeah. Little duress in the legs.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to elaborate on that one?
It's just simple. And beforehand, this is a workout that I get a lot of, this one and that slight progression, that every kilometer progression. You get a lot of questions about it before someone does it the first time. Well, what does fast mean? What does hard mean? How much should I pick up? And the answer is kind of always like, you'll know when you get going.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stress over it. Have a rough plan. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to start picking it up. And then I'm just going to run like moderately hard on the way back. And your legs are going to tell you exactly what that means to you on that day, which is why these are year-round workouts. We're not striving for pace. This is an RPE here. You're just trying to run 7 to 8 for a while. And then your body's either going to say, I want to hold this, or, hey, I think we're ripping today. And then you get up to an 8 or 9 by the end, and that's okay.
I agree. Yeah.
A lot of questions early because it's very amorphous the way it works, but your body answers it for you. In worst case scenario, you start back too hard and you have to pull the plug after 2 or 3 miles. And now you just continue your easy run the rest of the way down, and you got a medium long run in.
And you sort of feel like a failure a little bit, but that's okay.
And you know how to start it next time better.
Yep. All right. The next one I'm going to give a twofer. Okay. My favorite two twofers. One is a long run twofer. And the second is more of like I got a narrow window of time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like a Tuesday twofer.
Like I don't know what you're about to say. Usually I have an idea of what workouts you're talking about. I'm clueless here.
So other than my quarter mile on off, I really like time-based stuff for this, like what we're talking about. Excuse me. And the two is ladder cut downs. As simple as that. And the two ladders are 15, 12, 9, 6, 3. That's 45 minutes of work. It's pretty big. Or 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. As simple as that. Minute-based work. I did the 15, 12, 9, 6, 3 yesterday.
Okay.
2 days before. And Strava just bowed down to me and my time and threshold, brother. You knocked the snot out of threshold training. Good job, Kirk. And I was like, that's right, I did. And the 15, I like, these are very different sessions, though. And this is how I like to approach them. The 15, 12, 9, 6, 3, everything just has 3 minutes easy between. Everything's 3 minutes. So the work to rest ratio gets better as you go. This is a threshold-based half marathon to marathon paced effort session. You just spending time in zones. It's grindy. You get to 15 and 12 and you're like, I've already put in 27 minutes of work, but it helps you make a quality long run go by really quickly. So I really like that session.
Okay.
What are we really trying to do with it? I don't know. And your pacing might even be the exact same for even the shorter reps as it was the longer reps. So it's like survive in advance, get through the 15 and the 12, and then just stay put at that pacing, and the 9, 6, and 3 starts to feel pretty approachable. Pretty soon you look back and you're like, that was an hour of my time already gone, and it was super productive. So that is just one of my favorites.
So describe the exact details of the workout to me, please.
Well, like for example, I ran everything between 5:20 and 5:30 pace yesterday.
In terms of like work to rest.
15 minutes on, 3 minutes off. 12 minutes on, 3 minutes off. 9 minutes on, 3 minutes off. 6 minutes on, 3 minutes off. 3 minutes to finish. Everything has 3 minutes off. And the off can be a slog, which I took it as this, for me, I was 7 minute pace, which gets my heart rate to come quite a ways back down in that session.
You're still running.
Yeah. It's I like it as like a long run replacement, for me, with a warm up and cool down, it was like 14 miles of work. I meant for it to be shorter. I actually did bad math on that. I would plug that into like a long run. And then the other one is one that I actually want you to rip on. The 10-8-6-4-2, I like it with half recovery. So now you're going 10 on 5 off, 8 on 4 off. But now I want you like, this may be like VO2 max type work drawn out. Like this is almost a sharpening workout for some people, even though it starts pretty big. And so that one, I like the halves recovery, but like now we're like, you're working hard, you're cutting down. And that's 30 minutes of work, which, we believe in like that 30 to 40 minute sweet spot. Still 30 minutes of work between 10-8-6-4-2. But the integrity of those reps go up. So then now I want you pressing pretty hard. So those are the two. I put them in the same camp. They're very different approaches, but anytime that could get you race ready, or it could simply check the quality long run box for that week and you survive in advance. So I love them both.
Those are the kind of workouts you can't really fake, but you can game the system.
Explain that, because you're 100% right.
You can't really fake whatever fitness is needed to get 30 to 45 minutes of on. When I say on, I mean the fast intervals.
To chime in really quick, we're talking to a non-idiot based listener group who are go-getters and train with purpose, and this fits for them. I would say this is very big if it's an off-season session and you're a dabbler.
Yeah. This is purposeful work. You go out for a 12-minute rep and if you're out of shape by the end of it. You're looking at your 3-minute timer for that rest period and you're like, this is not good. Like, you can't fake that kind of work. Long reps, you can't fake it, especially when you're jogging in between or actually running in between. But you can game it. You can start it, say, I'm gonna run this first rep at marathon pace rather than a half marathon pace. And then I'm going to cut down from there a little bit. So like, you can play with how slow you're running your easy reps a little bit, but no matter what, you need some solid fitness to get through this workout. This is not your first workout you're going to do coming out of off season. If you did nothing but aerobic work or you took 2 weeks off, like, you're probably not going right to this one.
But you could go 10-8-6-4-2, but then take the reps a little bit easier. You could start with marathon pace effort for the 10-minute rep and cut down, and that would be really approachable.
Yeah. So these are bigger workouts, but because again, you're not like, we're running reps at this pace, recover in time to do it again, and you stop when you can't anymore, because it's not that kind of workout. You can game the system a little bit to get the work in if you need to.
Know what the interesting thing is about now? We brought up like 5 or 6 workouts, and this is, I think, what I fall back on when I think of plug and play or off season or not. How many of these sessions have walking or standing rests so far?
Right.
None. Because it's a governor for most people, meaning, well, you're not going to get race sharp on it, but you're going to build some really good like stay power fitness on it. And so like these, I don't think any of the sessions that I'll bring up today have any true standing or walking recovery. This is all in and out stuff.
And none of them are predicated around hitting a specific pace.
Yeah.
I believe that even people who say they're terrible at pacing, deep down, our bodies can be trusted on how to manage effort throughout a workout. Because even if you're bad at it, you're going to blow up and you're going to have to back off. And all of these workouts are really good at, if you blow up, you just back off your effort and you keep running the reps, which is why I said these can be gamified a little bit. These can be modified. Like, you're not done when you can't keep 10K pace anymore. You just back it off to half marathon pace and keep going. We had talked about junk mileage cooldowns. And I said they're kind of worthless because people will just dawdle and use bad form. Like, just put more into the workout. That's what these workouts are. Like, you generally don't cut the workout. You just finish the run out a little slower. But because you're still trying to do something on the on, you're still running a good form. Even if you're like, I'm trying to run 10K pace here, and I'm all the way down to marathon pace by the end of this because my eyes were too big for my stomach, or I'm not as fit as I thought, you're still running marathon pace, which requires good active form. So there's not really a downside to this workout if it goes south, because running it slower is still beneficial to you most of the time of the year.
Now, see, I'm kind of walking it back now a little bit in one sense. So I gave this in like very specific terms, like uh, we're running the recoveries, and one's a great long run session, or
Yeah.
like a great midweek, like half marathon training session. That'd be a great, like the 15, 12, 9, 6, 3 could be a staple peak week half marathon session.
Yes.
Right. So it could plug and play in a lot of places. But these sessions, and the reason I went, and just like your 3-2-1, or just like your progression cut down's a little bit different, or your bringer home, but let's say you consider yourself deconditioned. Great. How amazing for you would it be to go run 15 minutes, walk 3, just to get through it and be like, I
Right.
ran for 45 total minutes today. Or if you feel like 10 minutes is a stretch, the 10-8-6-4-2 with longer walk recoveries, like those are great ramp it up sessions for somebody who is not able to, or don't believe they have the fitness to do so.
Mhm.
Like you can make all of these, the 3-2-1 for sure, the quarter mile on off, all that stuff could be like played even to, let's call it the newbie or the not ready yet crowd.
Yep.
Great.
All right. I have 2 hill rep sessions I like to do here in year-round style of hill reps. You want me to do one or both?
Let's do both.
All right.
I just gave 2.
Okay.
Kinda.
First one is 30-30 uphill. And with that, it is 30 seconds fast, 30 seconds easy. And that's it, to the top of the hill. And then rest a little at the top and then flow down the hill, and either flow right back down it or flow back down around the outside, depending on the setup of your hill.
Do you want to know something? I'm going to interject just quickly.
Okay.
Is to date, 30-30 is still my least favorite thing to execute.
The miserable version, yes.
Yeah, it just is.
There's 30-30, and I have 30-30 advanced. And you and I have done 30-30 advanced.
It's tough.
So
But
30-30 itself is easy and fast. 30-30 advanced is threshold and above threshold.
It sucks.
And that one is really, really nasty. That is a sharpening hill race, mountain race workout. And Kirk and I have done that, and it sucks.
You remember we did gosh, this is still, do you know, this is still one of the staple workouts in my mind that will stand out to the end of time. We did 30-30 up Granite Peak,
Mm-hmm.
and then turned around at race effort and bombed down, and then took our rest. So not only were we taking the worst version of it, it was like 30-second sprint, 30-second race effort power hike is what we chose to do. Do you remember?
Yeah.
But it was not backing off.
No.
As soon as we got to the top, we buried each other for 3/4 of a mile down the same hill. It was one of my DNA changing sessions that I will never forget.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And you made me do it.
And then we finished with like just grinding it out for 90 minutes afterwards.
And heavy carries.
And carries, yeah.
Yeah, we went for like I think I went like 2 hours and 40 minutes that day.
I thought I got a hernia that day on my last rep. Do you remember that?
Dude, I've never seen somebody go downhill on technical terrain. That was the day that you were cemented as a GOAT in the downhill technical running in my eyes. Watching you go downhill, guys, if you've never seen Brakken run downhill in like 30% grade technical terrain, talk about twinkle toes. It's impressive.
It's a very specific skill that only works on one type of terrain.
And you would pull away from me, and then as soon as it leveled out just a little bit, then I'd catch you.
Yep. Kirk owns me on all descents except for highly technical, highly steep. That's the only place I can even fabricate any amount of gap on him.
Dude, your feet were moving so fast I couldn't even see those suckers. It was impressive. Anyways, I'm really distracting from your workout, but I've done it. Go ahead.
So that's 30-30 advanced, and that is nasty, and nobody likes that workout. And I've seen John Elbin do that workout. He talks about it a lot. Uphill Athlete talks about that workout. It's just it's kind of one of those workouts I think a lot of people in several areas of the world have all just like settled upon without talking to each other. Uphill Athlete, that book came out. I'm not being like, I thought of it first, because I didn't. We were all just doing a version of this. But it came out after I had done that workout for years, and I had done that workout. And then I heard that there were people doing that workout flat as a sharpening workout for indoor 3K workouts, 30 seconds at threshold, 30 seconds at 5K, back and forth until you break. That version of fast and not so fast has been happening for 30-second duration, happens on mountain courses and on the track, and everyone just has settled on it. It's a great workout.
It's the same reason any of this time-based stuff
Yeah.
You could do any of the workouts we just talked about on up and down trails or
Yeah.
on anything based off of RP, right? So,
It's great.
yeah.
But this
So
one
is
is
your
not
other,
that. This
yeah.
one is fast and then very easy to the top.
What do you like for like a hill distance?
On it, the bigger the better. But I've done this in Colorado for the one I used to do it on was like 1.18 miles, the section I would use. And the one I currently do this on is a 330-meter hill,
So very different reps.
something like that. Yeah. And you just go harder. In fact, on my short ski hill that I have access to, that's like 220 meters to the top, I do 30 seconds up, 30 seconds jog down, 30 seconds fast up, 30-second jog down. So I lengthen the hill by jogging down in between rather than up. And then I get to the top. I just let my legs flush a little bit of all that blood that seems to pool in there and make you have dead legs. And then I flow back down around the bottom. And what that means is exactly what it sounds like. Like you dumped a bucket of water down the hill. It's just going to go as it's taken. It's not resisting anything, but it's not just like blasting either. It's just flowing down through the terrain. And then I get to the flats and I just run them easy until I get back to the base and do it again. And generally by the end of the workout, I'm pushing a little on the flats, but that's not part of it for sure. You just 30 to the top, 30 fast, 30 easy, and then flow down.
So is your other one going to be 60-60?
No.
Oh, I thought you were lumping this with another one that was
Same
similar.
hill I do it on, but the other one is just moderate up and then flow it easy around. And then if I ever hit an actual flat section, I'll push it up to threshold on the flat.
Okay.
So I have a hill that it's a ski hill up, and then it's a service road down and around, and then there's like a 200-meter stretch flat.
Is that the one I was at with you?
No.
Oh, okay.
So this one is shorter than that, but I'll run just like aerobic threshold up, just running, jogging up the thing. It's work, but it's not hard. And then I flow fast but smooth around the outside. And then I hit that grass patch for like 200 to 300 meters. And I just run like 10K pace. That's it, just for a little bit. And then shut it back down when I get to the bottom of the hill and then jog right back up. That's it. And I will just repeat that loop for an hour. And it just feels like such good, solid work that you never overextend on. But kind of like the theme of all of mine that I've said here is as the workout goes on, you end up finding spots where your legs want to go a little bit and you just lean into that a little bit. You're not searching for speed anywhere. You're trying to stay compact and nice. But when you feel like ripping, you just close it down a little bit.
That's the nice thing. And the plug can be pulled when it's time based on either time constraint or you're like, yep, I've going to hit a boiling point. Now we pull it. Yeah. You could do that session for 15 minutes. You could do it for an hour if you really wanted to.
I did this for the first time in high school in cross country. We had a biology teacher that never ran a day in his life, but was fantastic with kids, who was our coach for our first 2 years. And then we got a guy who came from Calvin College with a 14:32 5K PR, and he became assistant coach. And right away we realized like we're doing things a little differently under this guy. But he would have us do this hill loop. It was a small little park. It was like a 600-meter loop, maybe less, maybe like 400 meters. And the hill was probably 60 meters long. But you would just run kind of quick up the hill, flow down it, and just run steady around. And that's it. We just repeated that for 20, 30, 40 minutes, depending on the time of the year. And eventually you'd end up running the flats faster because you felt like doing a little bit more. And he just let it happen. He just knew like the hill's going to sort you out.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing it ever since.
Did the exact same session in the first couple of weeks of cross season. Garbage Hill, old landfill. That's the only hill we had in Oshkosh, and it was about 60 meters long. We run loops. Yep, and that was exactly it. Yeah,
we had Witch's Tower Hill at Whitewater.
Ooh, Witch's Tower.
We had a haunted water tower, Kirk. Witch's Tower.
Do you believe in ghosts and haunted things?
I don't. But I know we kind of just talked about this right beforehand. There are so many weird, unexplained things that happen in this world that I don't fault people who do.
Okay, fair.
What this is, I'm gonna take a little sidebar here and tell you about Witch's Tower.
Okay.
This is important to know the lore of Wisconsin Whitewater. This tower is famous for when people are by themselves at night. They keep winding up at the tower. They're trying to get somewhere and they keep winding up at the tower.
There's booze involved.
Well, the thing is that Whitewater is like all Wisconsin university schools, massive binge drinking occurs. And so you
It's
just have
kind
a
of
lot
like
of people walking home from bars and house parties and they get lost. And
end
this
up at
thing
the
is
tower.
tall and it's up a slight hill and people keep winding up there, but it's perpetuate. It started with some urban legend and has now progressed with decades of drunk students keep winding up at Witch's Tower when they can't get home at night. I kept winding up at the tower. It was so crazy. That's Witch's Tower.
It's magnetic to drunks.
Nothing bad ever happens. They just can't get home and they keep winding up there.
Not like the river that runs through Eau Claire's campus, and every year a
Or
handful of
lacrosse.
kids end up in the river, and
Nope.
that doesn't end well.
No, this isn't sinister. It's just
Yeah,
mildly frustrating.
every year, those two places. I felt like I had something valuable to add, and I forgot it.
I sidetracked you. I was
You
talking that hill loop. You did it on Garbage Hill.
No, it was before that. Yeah,
Gosh darn.
that's okay.
See, Witch's Tower derails everyone.
It got me. I have one actually just to recap, because I think it's important for people for them to stick out in their minds. I've only said 3, really.
Okay.
I've said the quarter mile on off, varying intensities. I've given the ladders of 15, 12, 9, 6, 3 and 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. I think that's all I've given, correct?
I thought you did one other. I just talked this whole time.
No, I've been talking, I think, enough. And you have given, repeat what you have given.
I did the 1, 2, 3 fartlek variation, the out and back workout, the roughly 10K, pick it up slightly every kilometer. And then just there, the 30-30 hill workout, or what I call the murder mile loop. Steady up, flow down, loop around, repeat it for anywhere from 40 to 120 minutes.
All right. So I'm going to give a different version of the same thing, or 2 versions of the same thing. I like these for quality, like again, a Tuesday or a long run Saturday, but this is the purpose of this session that I think is great. And you could almost sharpen on it, but it also is a great, like, it's not going to set you back. I'll tell you that. Is the 1-2 or the 1-3, which is polar opposite of what we preach, which is like 1 minute on, 3 minutes off, but it's plugged into your long run. Talk about a quick session, how just prospectively going quick. And then the purpose is simple. You run fast and hard in that minute, and you can run as slow as you need to for the next 3. But like, actually, this is like sort of like an off-season speed session where you're still accruing volume.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say it's 4 minutes for a full round. I mean, in 40 minutes, you do 10 minutes of hard running. In an hour, you do whatever that math comes out to, like 16 or whatever, 15. It's not a lot. And so point being, it's a really feel-good session. And anytime I give it to an athlete, they're always like, that was really nice. Like, I enjoyed that session. It went fast. I felt fast. And I really liked it. And so the 1-3, which looks like a joke on paper, but you rip and then you coast, and you rip and you coast. And the version that you could do for like an ad hoc pure speed session, like in the middle of the week, is a 1-2. Like, I run hard for a minute. I run very easy for 2. And the purpose is speed, but also it's like a good way to get volume in, and you're still getting efficiency work. And so it's like complete backwards of the ratios I use. Like, I mean, how many 3-1 interval sessions have I done? And
Right.
how many, like, those are like when I'm ready to really be like, I'm going to race, sure. But like these 2 sessions are like, you're going to run fast, you're going to feel good about it, and they're going to go quick, and they're still productive. They check the speed box.
Yeah.
But you still get volume with them. And that's what I like about those 2 sessions.
Yeah. This is where you and I, we're very similar in a lot of what we believe in, but you and I really differ in our ability to sprinkle work in throughout a run. I can't. I agree with everything you just said, but I can't stomach it. I'm very much a finish with the purposeful work or start with it. I cannot stand sprinkling things. And I've said it on here before when you talk about speed sprinkles. Like,
what do you mean? Like, what do you mean?
Going for a long run and every few minutes throughout doing a pickup or doing your 1 minute on 3. It for whatever reason is so mentally challenging for me to feel any sort of positive way about that workout.
Oh, really?
And other
Like,
people are the opposite.
Like, it's not productive, or it's not. Well,
Both.
like what?
The easy then never feels like actually easy. I'm like halfway in between interval mode and easy run, long run mode,
I
where
get what you're saying.
it just isn't pleasant for me. And I feel during it, I'm like, I should just be running intervals at this point, or I should just do a long run and then finish up with 4x200 or something like that. I mentally, it grates at me. And we talked about this one other time. It may have been during like the speed sprinkle or mechanical speed work episode, but before or after are pleasing to me. But in
Mhm.
the middle, it is hard for me not to do the full thing or none at all. It ends up ruining every moment of the run for me. And
I could
I
not
wish it
feel
wasn't.
more differently.
I know. And
That's so
most people
funny.
feel the way you do.
Well, it's like, imagine this. You got 2 kids sick at home. Work was a disaster. You were up half the night with your infant, and it's Tuesday, and you're supposed to do some sort of quality, and you go, "Oh, I don't even know where to start, but I do know I could probably do a 1-2 effort
Mhm.
out my back door and still feel like I checked the box for the day,
Yep.
but I have nothing left to really give." It's like one of those sessions too, though, right in
I get it.
there,
I
that
agree
happens.
with you.
Yeah.
It
Life
just
comes at you
doesn't
fast
work
sometimes.
for me.
Yeah, well,
I assign things like that. I do work in the middle of what our online training has speed sprinkles in the middle. I believe in all of it. I'm
you just
just
hate it.
I just can't get along with it.
Yeah, that's fair. That is very fair.
Like tofu.
You can't equate this conversation to tofu.
I'm going to say that every single time I have tofu, no matter how it's prepared, I always think like I'd rather just be doing something else. It's fine. There's a restaurant we go to, Lisa and I, and every time we're there, I get fried tofu as one of my appetizers. And every time I'm like, I should have just got something else. Like, I love the idea of it. It looks good to me. It even smells appetizing. And I go to do it and I'm like, I should just be doing something else every
A
time I
little
get it.
crispy edge tofu and like a Thai noodle dish. I'm on
Yeah.
board with that. I'm here for it.
Yeah. And I order it every time.
Mm.
Just like I'll try to do these workouts, but every time I'm just like, you know what? It's just not for me.
Well, cool. I get it. I can kind of get it. Like you're like, I'm like doing this is like a tweener workout. Like I have a hard time defining what I'm even doing. It feels like well, it's not an easy day because it doesn't feel easy. It's not a true quality day. So then you're not psyched up for it, and then you're in this
Yeah.
like meh apathetic abyss. The whole workout is what I'm gathering.
If I had to distill it down to one thing, it's that the easy never feels truly easy to me. But it's not supposed to be like actually float hard where the easy is hard. Like I over the course of this hour-long run, I haven't enjoyed any of my easy running like I would on an hour-long run. But I haven't done the work during the on that would give me permission to feel bad on all the easy. Like I end
Yeah.
up not enjoying it, but
Like
I don't have my armor on to not enjoy it.
the best the armor thing is real, by the way. Just like any quality session the week leading into a race, your armor's not on. Of course, you feel a bit bad. But like the trail application for this is beautiful, just to break up a monotonous
I know I've
long
tried it.
run. Yeah.
I agree. I preach it. It just doesn't
I
my mind
prescribe
won't
this
accept it.
most often on the trails is where I prescribe this actually is like, great. It's so subjective.
Yeah.
Just break it up. Whether you're going downhill, uphill, I don't care. You're running hard for a minute and easy for 3.
It's
All right. I
like
think
the no uphill left behind workout. How often do I prescribe that?
I don't know how often.
A lot. I hate it. It's basically just you do a long run and you work hard every uphill. I hate it. I'd rather just do a hill workout because then every step I take that's not uphill, I'm tired and my legs are heavy, but it's supposed to just be an easy long run with a few uphills, but it's not. And then I hate myself during it. There's something a little bit like misaligned with my ability to handle that very particular style of workout. And I just can't. We don't get along.
I do prefer the no downhill left behind. That one's more invigorating.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. All right. We have time. Let's say one more. Do you have one more that you would like
I
to share?
do. I think there are 2 workouts from the OCR world that every runner could benefit from, Kirk.
Should I guess?
Do you want to try to guess?
I think these are going to be predictable ones.
All right. What do you think they are?
Well, I think you're going to say some sort of Hobie tempo.
Yes.
And then the other one I'm a little less clear on. I'm going to have to say your version of OCR 400s, but I feel like KDE could make a play.
It's KDE. I think Hobie Tempo and KDE have benefits to every single athlete out there, every runner. But these would be off-season workouts or base building workouts. But I'll describe them shortly. If you are just objectively against doing OCR, that's fine. But these workouts made me a better runner. So Hobie Tempo is in its purest form. It's a 5-minute run, 4 to 5 times. So it's basically a tempo run or a threshold run. But every 5 minutes, you stop and you do walking lunges and burpee broad jumps. I don't think those moves are important to the everyday runner, but what they do to your specifically rear chain with a lot of it, but also your quads. So I guess just what they do to your lower back, your hamstrings, and your quads, and a little bit your shoulders. If you're not used to burpees, your shoulders will feel it. And then you have to get up and run again. What it's done to you is it takes you to the last half of any long race you're ever going to do where your form wants to break down and it's fatigued. And you've got to be able to drive power and efficiency in that moment. I think it's beautiful what it does to a runner. It forces you to spend most of your reps in a highly compromised state. So the classic one is you do your 5-minute run or a mile or a half mile, whatever you want to call it in that moment. And then you do 10 walking lunges, 12 burpee broad jumps, 10 walking lunges, and you get right back to running. There's no rest. You just do that 4 or 5 rounds. 4 or 5 rounds. Combined rounds with times, rounds. And that's it. But you only get one clean rep. After that, you're tired.
Yeah. That workout sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, so I actually used to do a version of that for my midweek long run even.
Really?
I would change the effort, right, to match what I was trying to. So it's scalable that way too. You want to build your mountain legs, your leg builder, and you got nothing available to you? This would be a great option for you to do for like a, I don't know, sub-session, midweek long run. You could draw it out to a long run if you had to. But like the way I always did it is I ended up trying to tempo way too hard and fast. And this thing, you can get into deep waters really quick on that one. Like it's a lot of work. It's hard. You can make it very hard is what I'm saying.
I think it starts at marathon pace for people.
Yeah. And even that is brutal.
And then you progress it down as you get more efficient at just progressing back into a run while you're tired. KDE then is the classic KDE. What it started as in OCR was dragging a weight behind you on a rope. We usually dragged a 45-pound plate with a rope tied to it, or with me, a 100-foot extension cord wrapped up a bunch of times. And you just hold it behind your back and you power hike or jog against it for 2 minutes. And then you do a 5-minute run around threshold. And then you get 2 minutes rest. So it's 2-5-2, 2 minutes of work, 5 minutes of run, 2 minutes of rest. And it just lights up your quads and your rear chain, but it also smokes your forearms and shoulders a little bit more than you'd expect. And you don't have to do a lot of weight if you're not an OCR athlete. Just do a little bit, but working against it gets you right into where every step of your run is mile 20 of the marathon without the accumulated damage. You're just working with a very compromised system and you have to keep your form together. And over time, you're going to get to the point where 2 minutes into the run, you're fully recovered and now you're rolling. And now on race day, when you get deep into races, you just have more resiliency.
And that's one of my favorite OCR sessions of all time. That was my primer 1 week out, 5 rounds of that. And the way it fills up your quads and you get the grip stimulation. I had these big fat battle ropes. And so by the end of the 2 minutes, my forearms are burning, my quads are gone, my calves have been pushing hard. And then you go run with purpose. It's like covers all your OCR bases, gets your grip taken care of, and makes running like during an OCR race seem like a gift. The obstacles don't seem so bad. Not as compromised. So yeah, I love that session.
If you're new to it, do 1 minute of pull, but just enough that your legs and arms don't feel like normal when you go to start running. And there is some staying power benefit to that everyone could utilize. And I do it as much in the off season as I used to do during the season. It's just a good power building workout.
Agreed. I choose that one over Hobie Tempo just for like how much I enjoy the session.
Yeah. I get that.
Hobie's more of a grind. This one is a grind, but at least there's a little bit of
Hobie stings a bit. Burpee broad jumps spike you.
Yeah. Yeah. My quads are always toast for that session for some reason. Yeah. All right. Have we done the thing today?
I think so. Nothing in here is like super sexy.
No, but if you jotted down all of these sessions and then cycled through them over the winter months, if you have nothing coming up, or if you do and just want like a plug and play session, like, yes, like this filled your workout cache for a little while.
Let's say you wanted to PR at every distance. You reset to a 30-year-old, Kirk, with everything you know now, but you can only do these workouts we talked about today. From ultra down to 800 meters, where's the cutoff? What race distance would you not be able to tinker with these workouts and get sharp enough to run a PR in?
For sure the mile, so that's out.
Yep, 800 mile are gone, but it's close.
I'm actually waffling over the 5K right now.
Yep,
but I think I could say yes, you could PR the 5K on this style because you can tinker with the nuances of these sessions.
Yeah. And
so
I would say
5K.
Yeah, right around there. So what that means for most people is you could do these year round and be ready to do just about anything you want. And you can sharpen down for 3 or 4 weeks and be ready for anything. And I think with the 30-30 advanced, if I threw that into it, I might be able to be ready for a mile.
I think you throw the 3-2-1 and you keep the rest halved, or you keep it 3-2-1 with float recoveries, and now you're ready.
Yep,
done,
I agree.
Right? So yeah, I think that's it.
That's it. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you guys have a great weekend, and hopefully you didn't have that long of a long run while you're listening to us, and this covered your bases today.
Yeah. Have a great weekend. Make good decisions. Don't be an idiot.